Welcome to Game Recognized Game. I'm Myles Turner, 11-year NBA vet, center for Milwaukee Bucks. Guys, my co-host Breanna Stewart, she got called into a CBA meeting, so it's just going to be me today. Hopefully she getting things ironed out so we get this WNBA season rolling. But the show must go on. Today I got a very special guest. I'm joined here today by NBA champion, two-time Greek League champion, my teammate, my brother, Thanasis Antetokounmpo, man. Yeah. Welcome.
What up, Myles? What's up, man?
Chilling, man. So, it's funny, man. I was on your Thanasis podcast to start the season, man, and you really inspired me to step into the podcast world. And, we talked about it, man, manifested, and here we are, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. I've watched a couple of episodes. You guys are doing great. And I don't even think people really know, how much, stuff both of you guys can bring to, to the podcast world. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. We cover a lot on the show, man. Obviously, the WNBA side is amazing. Unrivaled is amazing. Yeah. We're obviously going to talk about that, as I know you're an investor in that league. You know what I mean? We're going to talk to TA today about being a proud big bro, and some of the challenges that come with that as well, spearheading the family. We're also going to go off the court and discuss TA's veteran podcaster advice for me just to get it there. So, yeah, man, we can hop right into it. If you don't mind, let's get to it. Your family made history this offseason. I think it was a beautiful thing for you guys all to experience together. You got three brothers all on the active roster for the Bucks at the same time. Yeah. You guys also won the bronze medal. Speak to the pride that you have being, just the big brother of the family, spearheading everything that's, going on the hoop side of things.
Oh, man. When it comes to the basketball side of it, I'm so proud of my brothers. They really work hard, play hard, and really play without hunger, on the court. So really proud of them. And then when it comes to accomplishments, I'll be honest, it's like a dream, bro. There is no award I haven't seen. My mom's place, I always say this all the time, it's like a museum, bro. You go out there, you see from Greek League champions to NBA champion rings, Lakers, Bucks. You see bronze medals from, what I'm saying, the FIBA, stuff like that. All NBAs, you see all kind of awards. And it's really not only, but and it leaves a legacy as well. Because my dad used to be a lot of in love with the medals. We would always go to him and whenever we got home when younger, we just give him the medal or give him the prize we won. So
that's dope, man. Because I know both of your parents were athletes, right? Your father, he played soccer, and your mother, she was a high jumper. Is that correct?
Yeah. Long jump, high, track. She did track, high jump, long jump. And 100 meters. That's it.
That's some good genes right there, man. Hey, that's some great genes, bro. You guys have an amazing athletic family. So I'll ask you, one thing we ask all our guests, when we come on the show is, first and foremost, what does game recognized game? What does that mean to you? It doesn't have to be just hoops, just anything. What does the term game recognized game mean to you?
Game recognized game a lot of times means you recognize the struggles. You know what we go through, right? You see another athlete, you go man, I know the pressure. So in moments like that, in moments when people win stuff, I've seen that with my family, and we understand when we win and you accomplish something in awards, and you see people either, they're in the end of the finals, they cry, emotion comes out. I'm yeah, I know, I get what you're feeling right now, or disappointment, the same thing. I don't understand what you're feeling right now, man. You had everything, your whole world was on this, So I do think game recognized game means that as well.
I think it's one of the best answers you've had, honestly, for the past few shows today. I resonate with that so heavy, man. Just I like the word you said, struggle, man, because people don't realize, man, they see the glitz and how glamorous of a lifestyle, that we live just on camera, but they don't understand the grind, the hustle, and everything that goes into being able to maintain that lifestyle. So I like that, man. Game recognized game. You recognize the struggle within someone, and just the beauty and the pain and just everything that comes with this. So that's great. I like that answer. So speaking of game, okay, when did you realize that you had game? Just in anything. When did you realize you had game in this hoop, man?
So I don't know, if it was just hooping basketball wise, but I remember when I was younger, I would anything that had to do with running, jumping, and a ball and basketball. I was crushing. I would be top 3, if not top 1. I would be at least top 3 because I would jump high, run fast. I was just a little skinny kid, So everything I did was about agility and fast pace. and fast twitch athlete, like
Got you.
just crush it. And I remember I did volleyball as well, like when I was younger,
Nice.
soccer
Yeah.
because of my dad. But then I was like, okay, I'm going to be an athlete. Now it's in terms of what kind of athlete I was. The only thing I didn't do was football because I wasn't born in the States. So I didn't have, well,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
only thing I
not a thing overseas.
So yeah,
Hey, that's hard, bro. That's hard. That's hard body because I mean, you still embody that even in your 30s now, bro. Just the way you
yeah,
move, the way you play, and we'll touch on a little bit of that later. So, you said you basically played every sport with the ball. Like, what
yeah.
role did you play in getting the family to move away from like soccer and start playing basketball, like back in Greece?
Wow, this is a story. I mean, I think Giannis has said this before. Story in another show or podcast. So we played soccer to like 13 and a half ish, kind of. And we were playing the same team. And one day, this coach just came in like a outdoor court, and he was like, "No, you should play basketball. Like, look, and, skinny kid, but I could like leap and just like when I learned how to do layups, I would do layups from the 3 point line. Like it was
Oh
just
wow.
athletic. You know what I mean? So he was
Yeah.
like, "No, I think you should do basketball." And then I went and I tried out for a team. I just practiced with the team, and it was the first time I saw an indoor court ever. We don't
Mhm.
have this kind of facilities in Greece. So when I saw that indoor court, I fell in love with it immediately. I was like, "Wow, this is indoors. I can play when it's raining, when it's cold, when it's anything. I can still play." You know. And I was like, and then I just went for a month straight, kind of. And I remember Giannis was like, "No, you got to come back. I don't want to be here." And then he just followed me to come hoop.
Okay.
You know,
Wow, look
and
at
that was
that.
it. That was it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Look at the genesis, man. Everything has its beginnings. That's real.
Yeah.
So you speak, man. I just see the way you and Giannis, roll like today. I mean, you basically just alluded to it right there that y'all do pretty much everything together. I think you guys have, and your other brothers as well. Obviously, when you're back home, you guys have such a tight knit family, and that's such a blessing, man. It's something that isn't really the case all the time. Here sometimes in American culture, like sometimes brothers don't really get along. They go their separate ways.
Yeah.
So how do you see your role like in your family today? Like, what is your role? I mean, you guys are obviously both all the men. You guys are because you have an older brother as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
second. I'm the second. Yeah.
exactly. But I know you're the oldest when it comes to the hoop. But just being the second oldest or being one of the leaders, what's your role like in the Antetokounmpo family today?
Oof, it's changed throughout the years. I was just one of the kids at some point. When I was younger, I was just one of the kids, and me and Giannis and Kostas and Alex and everybody. And then growing up, I was kind of okay. The example, like I gotta really do well. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't like. I really just because I know what he was like. We always look out for each other and copy each other. There's a
Hmm.
you know, and not only that. After that, when my dad passed away. I became just a different role of saying like, okay, now I just gotta really look out. Like I know I wanna, I had a lot of things that I want to accomplish and a lot of things I want to do. And I'm just blessed enough to be able to do that with my brothers as well. So, and not saying
Hmm.
like, wow, if I want to go do those things, I got to go alone. It's a journey alone. Like all my brothers hoop, all my brothers understand. All my brothers love business as well. Like all my brothers love things I want to do. So I never had to just like be like, oh, I got to go this journey on my own because they don't really like this or they're not, they don't like they're not accustomed to it or they don't have any interest in it. So I definitely it's changed throughout the role. But now like me here now is just like just being a safety man, just safety my brothers that can confide in me, be there for
Yeah.
them, um and as much as I can try to give them the best um the best values in general for life because my dad's not here now. So I try to as much as I can because this is most I've lived with him the most with him. So I try as
Right.
much as I can to instill some stuff. So that's all.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So just for me personally, bro, one of the first things I did before I got, to the team, because I'd always known you from afar, known
Yeah.
Giannis from afar in competition and whatnot, but I really wanted to get to understand you guys more as dynamic. And I ended up watching y'all's documentary on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah. And what was the name of it again? Was it like The Marvelous Journey or The Great Journey or
So the documentary on Amazon Prime is Marvelous Journey, and then we
Marvelous
have
Journey? Yeah.
a movie that's based on our life. It's called Rise at Disney Plus.
Rise. That's
Right.
right. I remember the Disney Plus one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I personally watched, the Marvelous Journey. And
Yeah.
guys, to my viewers, my subscribers out here watching, if you haven't had a chance, like, please tap into the show, man. Like, it was actually such an inspiring thing, man. You don't have to like basketball, like, to follow along with the show. Because, I mean, I just learned so much about y'all's journey and how such humble beginnings y'all came from. But, like, y'all weren't after the glitz and the glamour and, like, the lifestyle, man. Y'all were
That's
genuinely just
true.
trying to make a living for y'allself, man.
Yeah.
And, that leads me to my next question. It's like, you play the game with such incredible passion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You also live
Thank you.
life with that same passion and that
Thank
joy.
you.
And, like, where does that come from, bro? Because, again, like, that's not always the case, here in this league. And, bro, you've been doing this for 13 years, man. Just being a
13 years,
professional.
bro.
And you are just, I think you are the perfect example or the epitome of, what, this league should be, what these guys should come by. So, like,
Thank you.
what do you do just to, maintain that joy?
So, for me, the number one thing is like, I don't think people understand this. And obviously, like throughout every season, it's a it's a season on basketball, great, but it's a new season in your life as well. Like you gotta really evolve and grow, right? And the other things that's helped me so much is really having this joy. Because a lot of times nowadays people don't really want to show that they're happy. People don't really want to show emotion because they want to
Hmm.
act cool and kind of like
Yeah.
nonchalant. And I say this all the time. I'm like, this is not forever. This thing, this thing they're playing in the NBA, playing in front of 20,000 fans, either in the NBA or EuroLeague or playing basketball or any sport, playing in front of all these people is not an everyday thing. And at the same time, you're blessed to have found friends, partnerships throughout this. Like you build your tribe, throughout this whole journey.
Hmm.
Like this is my people, these people I hang out with for life. So I do rely on that for sure. And the other thing is my mom and dad, like they are the people who uh knowing or not knowing, they just helped us become this. I like my dad and my mom, if you saw my dad today, he would be he doesn't say much. He doesn't talk about basketball. It's just kind of like that. You just sit, bro, watch the game,
Chilling,
chill.
yeah.
Just like if the game is done. Hey, dad, I love you. You don't even say like you shot well, didn't shoot good. Like
Hmm.
unless he things I need, unless he's like things that I needed. You're like, hey, man,
Of course.
like you keep going. So they really they really instilled this into us, and we saw them example comparing to other parents, and then comparing to other people who their kids were really successful in sports, stuff like that. You know,
Right. No, that's real, man. That's so dope. And I know he'd be proud, man. I know he's looking down on you guys today,
yeah,
just proud, just to, what you guys have created, the legacy that you guys are, carrying on. So that's big. And I guess the last thing I want to speak on, when it comes to just the family aspect of things is, a lot of people are very familiar with y'all's journey, but, maybe some of the fans on WNBA side who aren't as familiar, bro, you guys literally came from selling stuff in the streets, try to support yourself, to where you're at now. And yes, you may be a Greek culture, but you're Nigerian. You know what I mean? At the end of
yes,
the day, you guys are immigrants coming into another country. It's similar to kind of what's going on here in America today. You know what I mean? Just trying to make a living for yourself. So, you guys had to fight hard to be recognized as Greek citizens. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like just speak a little bit to that. Like, I think again, people see you guys, not Giannis as the Greek freak, but there's a whole other lineage that comes with it,
1000%. And the the crazy part is that like I always say this all the time, right? Is that we come from two great cultures, right? The one culture of like being Nigerian and like really like the hustle and the DNA, and you can make it anywhere in the world. Like there's you see from doctors to anywhere. You see it from athletes, like diaspora, like that's in the States and Europe. And then we come from another culture with philosophy and culture and just having culture in your spirit and thinking in a way of like, okay, how do I have this not only philosophy, this stoicism, but like a different era, like a different culture as well. So those two are a great mix. I don't know how to explain it. A
hmm
great mix for us. So we do have a kind of a cheat code there. But like people describe our story and how it is. And sometimes I look back, and even though at the time it looked so hard and it felt so hard, I am so glad, so glad my life is this,
hmm
because that gave me a different approach and a different appreciation for all of these things that have came and it is to come. Because
Mhm.
um, I don't get enamored by material things. I don't get
Yes.
enamored by
Yes.
like one and done things. I love the process. He's made us love the process and the pressure that comes with it. Like
Okay.
people kind of think like, okay, it's pressure to, or they call you names or say something about you or you're good enough, not good enough, or whatever what I'm saying? Just the whole pressure around sports. But actually, you've never lived pressure till you see like somebody you love or you care about your mom or dad or somebody like not be able to like really have something in their life and really like and you want to do that but you're like 10 years old or you're like 12 years and there's nothing you can
Mhm.
do and you got like okay I got to put my own weight I got to do whatever it takes and then you get to this level and it's another day it's
Yeah,
another
bro. It's the life. Yeah,
another
that's
day.
real.
So yeah, we did have a lot of struggles too. Like when it comes to the Greek and being Nigerian Greek. I'd say I call myself Afro-European. The same way they
Yes.
say Afro-American, I call myself Afro-European.
Mhm.
And now we've made another wave for another Afro-Greeks and Afro, Germans and Afro,
Mhm.
like every other country. So I'm glad about that.
Great, man. I appreciate you speaking on that. You get a little vulnerable there for a second because obviously that's just, again, it's not easy, but it's also, you said you're a pioneer, what you do. So that's big, bro. You're an original investor in the Unrivaled League.
Yeah.
Why'd you decide to get into it, man? Let the people know.
Uh, okay. First of all, it's a great business. One, let's say on the business side of it, it's a great business. It's
Of
sports, bro.
course.
It's great business. But let's go to even deeper. Uh, this league had like so much potential. Why? Because it was created by players to a certain degree, right? And everybody was involved. Made for players, right?
Mhm.
And it's constantly advised and evolved through the players.
Right.
That is a always ever winning product and would
Mhm.
always be. You see?
Okay. I like that
So
breakdown. Yeah.
yeah. So then it was this right timing. Like look at what happened now. Like it's the offseason, for the WNBA and everything, and you have Unrivaled. Like, and that lets you know how much this was needed. Like, and again, you said Stu was like negotiating and the cap kind of call with the salary cap and everything that's going on with
Yeah.
the back and forth and the CBA. But look at how much leverage this league is giving them
Hmm.
to be
Gives
able
them a
to
leg
put it,
up.
yeah, to be able to compare numbers, to be able to sit down there and like, wow, did you see Barclays Center? Did you see Florida? Did you see what's going on? Did you see all these formats and how much not only leverage is has given them, but at the same time, I could see in the future, I could see the NBA coming in and saying, hey,
We got to get on this, huh?
yeah, I could see that. I could really see like the NBA coming in, and I want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I could see the NBA coming in and
Yeah,
saying
of
like,
course.
Unrivaled, you're one of us, like we want you. Integrate
Hmm.
it and make it, 5-on-5, whatever the case might be, etc. But this is the game changer because for the first time, not only like this is happening in the women's sports, but like specifically basketball
Hmm.
is now becoming a staple, and it's actually being supported and by women
Yes.
so much. There's a reason
Yes.
like male sports are so successful. It's not only because they dunk the ball, we run and they sprint and they shoot. It's mostly because if I'm a fan of an athlete, I will buy their jersey when I'm 20, when I'm 30, when I'm 40, and when I'm 50. And
Hmm.
then I'll have my son buy their jersey of their favorite player. And then I'll have my grandson
Hmm.
buy their jersey of their favorite player. So it's just this constant generation of building fan base and sports.
Hmm.
And obviously, there is the other aspect of the gladiator kind of type that you get in.
Yeah.
But we see that from the women now too. So I'm very, very hype about that.
They be going at it, man. That's real. It's funny. I think we touched on this the other day, just in passing. Like, just you talked about the support
Yeah.
of the leagues themselves. You don't really necessarily see a whole bunch of women supporting women at WNBA games.
Yeah.
I think it's rare at times, unless you're, of course, at like the LA arena or like a New York arena and
Yeah.
whatnot, where it's a show. But
Hmm.
at these Unrivaled games, you're having, multiple celebrities come out. I mean, I
Yeah.
think I saw it's Array at a show. There's a bunch
Yeah.
of celebrities that are coming around and want to be a part of the show itself. You know what I mean? And I think it's easier to do that in a player-backed league than it would be, a big organization like the WNBA. Man, what do you think?
1000%. I'll give you numbers, and I don't want to disclose any numbers because I don't know what's what. But I will tell you,
Of course.
it's grown at least 4 to 5 times since the time we came in and invested as well. Like
Wow.
so you can see the popularity that's generated, the market value, right? Because
Mhm.
think about it, it's a pie, right? And when you have the pie,
Uh-huh.
all these league like kind of take their place in this pie and saying like, hey, we own 21% of the market, 32% of the market for. I believe like in the year one, and now going to obviously year two and year three, Unrivaled already owns a lot of big portion of
Mm.
women's basketball. You know,
Wow.
so yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, T ain't a businessman, in case y'all ain't know, man. My man is a man of many
no,
grinds, many hustles, bro. So you
no,
got
no,
it
no.
going on. That's
Thank
fire,
you.
bro. What meant more to you, man? We're switching gears again. The NBA championship with the Bucks or this bronze medal you recently won at the FIBA World Cup? I think I already know the answer, but like, break it down for the
Oh,
people.
don't.
It's tough.
I can't pick. I can't pick between those two. But I can tell you
It's fair.
what meant like what each meant to me. I can tell you.
Okay.
So winning an NBA championship with the Bucks was like something that I don't know if it will ever be replicated. Not because of more championships might come, but the specific one after 50 years, like we've seen a whole city change in front of our eyes. We see the younger generation come out. I remember we was playing the Hawks, and when we beat the Hawks and coming back, and people was lined up, and I could see like sea of people while we were landing at the airport, and then coming back being down 2-0, by the way, right? Being down 2-0
Yeah.
to the Phoenix Suns,
Yeah.
you cannot imagine. It was like 40, it was 20,000 in and maybe like 30 or 40,000 outside the score. Like, and imagine, they were talking about Milwaukee, right? Which people a lot of times will say, small market, etc. But I understand that they try to use always this like kind of pillar of markets and blah, blah, blah. It was insane, right? And that is something that you will never like, I can never like replicate, bro. I told you this. I haven't paid for a meal like in years, bro. I like okay. I don't go out crazy, but I've never went to a restaurant like still like, hey, don't even please, thank you so much. Like for you
That's
and your family,
unreal,
what you got.
bro.
So it's something crazy, special. And then going to the medal, winning a medal with like Team Greece had two meanings for me because one was I won the medal after coming back out of my Achilles. So coming
Yeah.
back was my first. That was my first official games with being national team,
Wow.
and
Mhm.
that was special. And then the other thing was, like I've been playing for that team since 2015, and anybody who's played like FIBA knows how hard it is to win in those formats, the top eight
Oh
and the
my
top six.
God,
Like
bro.
it's almost
Yeah.
impossible to win, and and we've always had this problem because why? Because we're a European team. So European teams compete against other teams. So we don't get to play. Let's say Team USA will play. Let's say Brazil and Australia. Like we will play Brazil, Argentina, or Mexico. Like it's 3 4 teams that play. We get to play against France, Slovenia,
All the
Spain,
hard teams right
like
away.
all the teams, Serbia, Turkey, like
Hmm.
all these teams, Germany, that they are superpowers when it comes to
Yeah.
basketball. So
Yeah.
among all of these teams to be able to win something, it's like special, and to be able to do with my brothers.
Of course.
I went out and I was taking out. I went out in the morning. I just went for a walk, and I would walk in, and there would be people in the balconies clapping, bro,
Oh my God, bro.
clapping.
I can't
Clapping, saying
imagine.
like, I cannot believe what you did for our country and this kids, and they love us even more. You know why? Because of our story, and
Yep.
we could be totally different. We could have disappeared. Like
Hmm.
I'm going to Beverly Hills. You'll never see me, or I'm going to live here.
Hmm.
But we live in Athens, and for them to see how much we give back all the time and be able to go in the summer and do that, that was insane. So I cannot pick. I can't pick, bro. I can't
I
pick.
hear you, bro. I hear you. Y'all really the Beatles for real, man. It's crazy. That's can't imagine the love that comes with that,
Thank
bro.
you,
But
thank you.
yeah, to your point, man. I got a chance to play in the World Cup between
Yeah.
19. I actually played against you guys. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
It was a
remember.
tough competition, bro. But like, you know, Americans just don't take it as serious as you guys in Europe do. Man, it
Why
means
is
so much
that?
more to y'all.
Why is that?
Um, I would love to talk about this actually. Just from my perspective, when we're coming up and we're growing up and whatnot, man, like, we're taught so much about how America is number one, right? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So when we win an NBA world champion, to us, or world, like, you win an NBA championship, you're a world champion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We've had this conversation before as well, but like that's really all that matters. And that's all that's publicized. That's all that's put in the
Mm,
media is just that itself, right?
yeah.
Because we're taught since the beginning of time, we're number one. Bro, it's like damn near in our textbooks, like when we're kids. Like America, we're number one, we're the greatest at everything. And that is like instilled into our heads. There's a lot of pride with being an American. But pride is defined a lot differently in Europe and overseas
Yeah.
and whatnot. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
guys have that same pride for your country, but it's a different pride when it comes from to representing your country. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? On this stage. So now, an Olympic medal, of course, that's a huge deal. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's everything. That's like the grand prize. But the World Cup to us, it was almost kind of like an afterthought, because most of the times NBA players didn't want to play because they were trying to save up for the actual Olympics. It's like, why would I go out there
Ah.
and risk getting hurt for the NBA season? Why would I go out there? It's not the real gold
Yep.
medal. You know what I mean? So like, I think the USA basketball, the union itself here is trying to change the narrative of that
Yeah.
because obviously we're been getting our ass kicked lately. You know what I mean in the
Yep.
World Cup. But overall, bro, I think I guess all the onus has been on the Olympics as opposed to the World Cup. The World Cup is almost taught as like the little brother, like, it doesn't really mean as much, you know? And I think that was on the middle generation of NBA players. A lot of those guys were dropping out of the Vegas camps. They didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? I remember
Mm.
the year I played, every superstar pulled out. Every single superstar says, "Oh, no, I'm not doing it. Oh, no, I'm not doing it. We're going to get beat anyway, so, I'm not doing it." And I thought it was so crazy because to me, it's like, shit, I'll do it. What the fuck? Like, I want to represent
Yes.
the country. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if I ever get this opportunity again. Actually, I
Yeah.
played with Brooke Lopez. I played with Chris Middleton. I
Yeah.
played with both those guys in that
Yeah.
team. So, yeah, man, I think it's intriguing. I think that, us as Americans at times, we're almost too prideful for our own good. But, that's sets up a clear path to get humbled, and that's what's happened the past couple times in the World Cup
Yeah.
competition. So, yeah, man, I think if I had a chance to do it, I would do it again. I think it's a beautiful experience. I got to see how prideful everybody overseas was. We are the enemy. Everybody wants to take out Team USA. It's everybody's dream to do it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No, it's just because
Yeah.
you guys have so much talent, man. You've been dominating this sports for like so long, it's
Mhm.
what you say about pride and stuff. Like we literally go to war, bro. Like it is
Yeah.
days, like they prep us. It's not just like basketball. Like we really go to war, bro. Like it's a lot of emotion into it. Like you can tell, like people act different when they play national team. I'm telling you, it's
Yeah, man. I can tell, bro. All right, y'all. It's time for a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into TA's relationship with Giannis and how they both deal with the pressure. And we already talked about it, man. The pressure is everything. I mean, I think we already know how that conversation is going to go. Man, while y'all here, man, please rate, review, and subscribe to Game Recognized Game with Stewie and Myles, wherever you get your podcast. And matter of fact, while you're here, go ahead and subscribe to the Thanasis show too, man.
oh
Y'all know
man,
what's due.
appreciate you, man.
Welcome back to Game Recognized Game with Stewie and Myles. And again, as I told you guys, Stewie is currently, on talks right now, trying to get the CBA under wraps. So it's just me and TA for the day. And let's just go ahead and address it, man. The nepotism question. I'm sure it's something that's happened quite a bit. People say, you're only in the league because of your brother. There's a bunch of
No.
noise on social media. But, bro, you are 13 years as a professional athlete. And you're still doing it, man. Like, when you hear those
No.
comments, like, what goes through your head?
It's old news, first of all. It's old news. It's old. Like, okay, it's old. That's why. The other thing that goes into my head is just because a lot of times people want you to live their journey the way they want you, the way they see it, right? They be like, but you could have. I've heard this in the past. Like you should go to another team. You would play more. Like if you went to another team that doesn't go for a championship, you would have a better role. If you went here, if you did this, and I always say all the time, I said, you cannot make me do something I don't want to do. This is my journey. This is my life. This ain't your.
Mm,
This is something. If it's something that you don't think it's for you, it's okay. But me, I'm a very confident person, and at the same time. The reason I'm confident is because I know where I started from. Like everything I do is success. Bro. I know where I've started from. So I see this as a roadmap. So if I'm on point with my roadmap, why would I let anybody else influence the journey?
that's a bar,
I'm on track to get whatever I wanted to get. I
man.
just imagine this, bro. Imagine telling somebody who has done a lot of things that other people haven't done yet, right? And want to experience, haven't experienced yet, telling him like, no, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. But like it works out. So I don't understand. No, I do understand why it happens because, to be honest with you, um, a lot of people are they. And this is why I always say this. I went to play against a kid. True story, but I played like with a kid that was just out playing, and we're in this camp, and like he comes in and blah blah. And you know how kids are, bro. Sometimes kids they get around that they see you in the camp, they're like, oh, okay, I can beat him or whatever. And it was this whole
Mm-hmm.
thing like, oh, I could beat TA or whatever they would say. NBA players would say like, oh, I could beat this guy, I could beat that guy, and my name came up like twice. Like, oh yeah, I could definitely beat that guy. So this kid, yeah, listen to this. So the kid gets up and he's like, okay, I'm gonna play him, and we started to play. In the beginning, like, how it is camp, bro. You let this kid score, you let whatever.
Mhm.
Let him score. He scores one time. Then he starts like, "Oh yeah, I told you like this that." And I don't know what he said. And then I didn't let him score again. And then I went there. I scored once, twice. I scored like 10 points straight, something like that. And every time I scored, I made a comment. So I was scored the first time. I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually fast, huh?" Then I was scoring another time and I backed him down, turned around, dunked it. I was like, "Ooh, I'm strong, huh?" So I would keep going, keep going. The last comment when I scored, I said, "Wow." And you want to, and this is the thing. You kept saying like, "I'm going to be the NBA," and said that. I said, "Wow, you want to go to the NBA, and you can't even beat the worst of us. I'm the worst one." I told her that is because they,
Oh man, but it was so humbling. Yeah.
oh yeah, and I'm the worst one. You can't even beat me. And this kid, bro, sat down, and I could see bro, everybody was there. He was in the corner, and then I went and just put my hands on him. I was like, "Hey, listen, come here." I said, "The reason I told you all these things is for you to understand that." Don't get fooled by what the journey is. The journey is not for you to be flashy, not for you to talk the game to go. It's for you to, when you step in and the popcorn is popping, to be able to do this and people to understand, like, wow, this kid has something special. It doesn't matter if you can make shots, don't make shots. You're here for a reason. That's what I always say. And I've caught some people with that. I've caught some people in the league with that because that's why you see some highlights sometimes done because sometimes people be just, oh, yeah, let me just relax. And I've caught some people with that. And the reason
Mhm.
is because for some reason, like people don't understand. They don't understand. They try to justify for the wrong reason why some people are in the spot they are. So they go like, "Oh, he's there because of this. Oh, he's there because of that. Oh, he's there." That's your opinion. It might be, but when you step on the court and you realize, like, "Oh, okay, this guy's. Oh yeah, this guy's super aggressive. This guy plays hard. Or this guy is like a great teammate. Like this guy cerebrally knows the game. He slash a coach slash like he understands like all these things. Then he puts you in a different like mentality, and that's why I always say to everybody who's playing and everybody's coming in like this is the way you have to see it. This generation is actually going extinct. It's more like all the flashy, all the talk, and now play, and it's going towards extinction. The saying like, "Hey, I'm here and I do everything the right way, and I do everything the right way on and off, not just on the court and off the court." So yeah,
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I think that that's actually a great answer, man. I think that I like the story about the kid, man, because I think there's a
yeah,
lot of guys on
bro.
the internet that are just will say that. It's like, oh, he sucks and he's this and that. I can beat
Be
him, blah,
my
blah, blah. But
guest,
they
be my
don't
guest,
realize
bro.
and you don't realize what it takes to step in between these lines at 94 feet, man, is different. And I think a lot of that people just project their insecurities obviously through social media and when they talk out there. But the other side of it, man, is like you are genuinely loved as like a guy in this league, man. You hear the cheers in the class at Pfizer V will be on the road, and people are asked for you to get out there because they know. Well, they know how hard you go, man. They know they
Yeah.
know your spirit. They know how you go out there and play. So I mean, I think it goes
Thank
beyond
you,
that.
man.
But
I get my little standing ovation when I come in to the
oh, for
game.
sure. But I'll tell you, it's more than sand ovation, boy. It'd be rowing for your ass.
Thank you.
Yeah. So another thing that's old news, man. At this point now is like obviously all the Giannis trade rumors, the controversy with Giannis all the time.
Yeah,
Um, that can't be easy for him. You know what I mean?
I
I
know.
think that he's
One
someone
thousand
who
percent.
He's an NBA champ, and he's literally done every single thing you can do in this league. He's a
Yeah.
loyal guy. You being the big brother, man, like how do you help him deal with everything? Because I mean, he's going to do what he does on the court.
Yeah.
That's easy. But off the court, man, how do you help him, deal with everything, just keep him sane?
Well, I think the most important thing is like just kind of like take every situation for what it is and kind of have a different reaction to it. It doesn't everything doesn't have to be met with like aggression and pressure. Like, okay, I gotta go. This is the thing I think the a lot of players from the in the States do. They meet every situation with aggression and kind of like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna go out there and demand and do all these things, which kind of sometimes is it's not the best. It's not always the best. And I think he diffuses that with like humor, right?
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
made
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
with humor, so that really helps a lot. And at the same time, just work, get in the lab, man. We just go back and work,
Yeah.
and you can't. It's not a lot you can do. But me talking to him advice wise, I always say this: we've been here with you since the start to the end, and whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Don't worry about that. Just go out there and be this incredible kid that you are, this incredible teammate, this incredible dad and brother that you are, and forget about everything else. Like this is all it's the nature of the business. It does exceed a little bit. It does go overboard sometimes, but it's the nature of the business. This is what we have to do, all of us. You know.
Of course. Of course. All right. That makes sense. I think you just make it more of the business side of things, everything you have to look forward to there. And that's another thing I think our viewers and our listeners really don't always understand, man, is that, this is a business at the end of the day. We love to hoop. We love to go out there and
Yeah.
get between them lines. But, sometimes decisions are kind of just above us,
Yeah.
above I mean, believe it or not, above our pay grade, as
Hmm.
much as we do get paid. And, I think it's something that it's hard for all of us players to deal with at times, but it's amazing that he has a support system and you guys have
Yeah.
a support system within each other. Yeah, so let's go back to you a little bit, man, because this is so inspiring to me. Because I mean, there's a lot of guys that are going through this now. You just seen JT come back. Halliburton's obviously
Ooh.
going through it now as well. You tore your Achilles, man,
Ooh.
and you came back even stronger, even more explosive, even bouncier. Like, explain that rehab process. How you dealt with it mentally and physically, and like, what was your motivation just to get back?
Now that's where these people, talking shit come in handy. That is when they come in handy. You take that, you make that fuel, right? But you don't let it sip in and make you like be rushed. But that's where they come in handy. You're like, all right, cool. This is what we're gonna do. Like, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna try to be the best that I can be. Um, Mentally wise, I was devastated. Devastated. For me to say devastated, like I'm always unfazed by stuff because I always like really have so much like positive energy and I always move forward. But I was devastated because it's like, wow, I do everything the right way and this happened to me because I'm trying to overwork because I was getting ready for the Olympics. So I'm overworking. And I was like, damn. And then I made it, did the surgery, all this other cool like stuff that I had to do. And nobody tells you this, right? Everybody goes like,
Mhm.
"Oh, Tia, you're gonna have the surgery. You're gonna be back. Don't worry about this." Blah blah blah. But nobody tells you like right after the surgery, you literally cannot walk, or you literally are in a wheelchair. You literally cannot do anything. And that was the devastating part because imagine now somebody who runs and jumps for a living, run and jump. I didn't even. We don't even have like walking in our vocabulary. We run and jump for a living, bro.
Yeah.
Right? And we're a professional athletes, and somebody tells you like you literally cannot walk. There's nothing. You got 2 months, 3 months. You're gonna wear this boot for 3 weeks, and then after the 1 month, you're gonna have the scooter, and you're gonna not gonna. You can't even touch your foot down. Like you cannot walk. Eh, and then I had more respect for people and handicapped people. I had more respect for people in wheelchairs. I had more respect for people who are amputated. I had more respect for everybody who's missing something vital
Mhm.
that we take for granted. So much more respect. And then my second motivation was like I wanted to be able to dance on my brother's wedding. I was like, I gotta rehab, I
Oh,
gotta rehab. It
wow.
was my
There
brother's
you
wedding
go.
in August, so I started rehabbing, and true story, I didn't even go to. You might remember this because I came to watch you guys, but I was sitting course I see. But
Yeah, I
the
remember.
whole season, I was in Santa Monica doing rehab. I didn't even stay in
Mhm.
Greece. Mostly a lot of guys will stay home and where they at, and have people. I got isolated, and then I'll tell you another crazy
Mhm.
story. I was in the fires. And I haven't even told the story to nobody. I'll tell you the story on your podcast. So
Uh,
I'm rehabbing, and I am in Santa Monica, and I've waited like 5 6 months of rehabbing. Now I'm back. I'm in the court, but I'm still rehabbing. And I stayed in an amazing home. By the way, it was great. We one of my business partners. I was just there. Like it was amazing. Like I had everything for me, home, like gym in the home, like everything. So
Beautiful.
while I'm asleep, I'm like I can feel, and I felt it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put my alarm in like 2 hours. Wake up, do my little nap, whatever. I wake up. I'm like, oh, what's going on? I smell. I have it like a smell, like something is burning, but not nice burning, not like kitchen, like zit, something's on fire. I look around. I'm like, bro, I'm in bed. What's going on? I literally go out to the pool in the garden, and it's
Yeah.
embers everywhere. The sky is red. Bro,
Mm.
sorry, the sky is red. There's embers
Holy shit.
everywhere. I run around. My partner calls me. He's like, "Where are you at?" I left because he left and he was like somewhere else. He's like, "Where are you at? Did you leave the house?" I'm like, "I'm leaving right now." So I have people like banging on the door, trying because I had my partner, his family, so they came from another house, kind of tell me, "Wake me up." So I see them.
Yeah.
I I get my bag. I put everything in. I just got my passports in my hand. So I put my. I didn't even close my bag.
Hmm.
I just
So
really
sure,
just
bro. I'd be
figured
freaking out. Yeah.
threw it in, in the car. Mind you, I'm seeing trees down, like it's wind and fire. Like I'm seeing trees
Hmm.
fall off, like this whole, it's all kind of like madness. So I go to another house one of my friends. Um, he kind of like lets me stay for like 2 hours. Everybody gathers there. Everybody like from other neighborhoods, like, and then they tell us like, hey, the fire's coming this way. And I go like, hey guys, I can't do this. I call my mom. My mom's like, hey, what's going on? I'll tell you, it's a fire. Is this happening? Mind you, all the roads everywhere, it's like fires everywhere. So I call my mom. I'm like, listen, I'm going straight to the airport and I'll figure it out. So I take an Uber. I go straight to the airport, LAX, I stay at the airport for like 3 4 hours, get a flight, go straight to Greece. Go straight to
Mm.
Greece. Stay down in Greece. While I'm in the plane, I can see half of LA. I'm not even a joke, bro. I saw this with my own eyes. I have videos. I'll send it to you. On like demolished on fires, bro, and close to the sea or whatever, bro, on fire. So I'm like, wow, this can like for a moment, I lost what was the most important thing. I was thinking about that it happened. I was thinking about I showed it to myself, and this is what I need to do, and all this. And I was like, no, 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 no. What's important is I gotta go see my family. Like I gotta spend time with my family. I
Mhm.
gotta go do this. And I immediately got in a plane and went straight to Greece. So that was like crazy. So I will send you some videos so you see it. Like
Yeah,
insane.
man. It's a blessing you're able to get out, man. That's an
What?
apocalyptic type of event, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what happened? The crazy part is in the morning when I went to practice to do my rehab, I would walk and the fires were way, further. And people were like, oh yeah, don't even worry about that. Like it's behind the
This
it's
happens
behind the
all the
golf course. Like it's
time.
not gonna it's behind the
Yeah.
golf course. It's never gonna touch you. It's never gonna be there with you. Like you're gonna be okay. No. But yeah, sorry, I don't want to take your time, but like that was crazy.
No,
So
dude, that's a crazy
that's the
story,
story.
bro. So that's something
I almost got
for our
burned. I
listeners
almost got
right there,
burned in the
man.
fire, bro. True
Wow, that's
story.
a game recognized game exclusive, y'all. Damn. So,
Yeah.
okay, you said you went back to Greece. So,
Yeah.
kind of on that topic, like you've
Mhm.
obviously played a lot in Europe at the
Yeah.
highest level, and obviously you played in the league. But tell me like the key differences like between the leagues. Obviously the style of play, the fans are crazy overseas, the
Mm.
money's a little bit different over here. Like, what are some of the key differences?
So key differences. So what used to be the key difference was athleticism, not anymore, because a lot of players are going to Europe, so it's almost the same,
Yeah.
almost. Not every position, but like yeah. Another key difference, obviously, salary cap, a little bit more money in the States. I mean, the NBA, has like the salary cap, but now the leagues are changing. You can see like biggest contracts like Sasa Vezenkov, uh, Hence Davis, Misits, like Kendrick Nunn, like huge contracts
Hmm.
here as well. Um, the other difference, playing wise, is the willingness to repeat a good play. I'll give you an example. Or
I like
yeah,
that.
and not only the willingness to repeat a good play, but the willingness to go back to the strategy again and again and again till the sun comes down. That is the difference between Europe and the NBA. Like in the NBA, it's all about flow. You know, they make a run, we make a run. Uh, even though maybe another guy might be doing well, we still get the ball to the star player or we get the ball to the point guard. Um, you can score twice from one play, but we don't. You don't go back to that play again.
Mhm.
Not a lot of teams do it, but a lot of teams will do it. They play good and they win, but not a lot of teams do it. But in Europe, if they have a game plan, we're sticking to it. And we're gonna go.
Mhm.
If today's game plan is not for you to score, you're not gonna score. We're gonna let this guy. So that is a big key difference. And I think like the schedule wise too, like I don't think they could be able to withstand the back to backs. Like the Monday, Tuesday,
Mm.
Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off, game, Sunday. No way. They would
Yeah.
they would crush. They would crash out. Like they would no way they could withstand that.
I'll definitely practice overseas. That's
Yeah.
definitely real. I'll
Yeah.
definitely practice. It's
Yeah.
more of an academy over there, if anything. What sets NBA players apart now? Is there anything left that sets NBA players apart? You said athleticism, and they've caught up there, but like, what would you say?
So there's certain guys that obviously the athleticism because you do not have the DeAndre Jordans of the world like in every team. You don't have the Myles or the Giannis's at every team. Like you have teams here who are trying to sign players to be equipped to guard the Wemby, to be equipped to guard the Giannis and the Kuba, to be equipped to guard a Shaq. It was, you know what I mean? They'll be equipped to guard the LeBrons and the hybrids of the NBA. Um,
Mhm.
so that, and then I would say is that it's a good ratio. This is that what the NBA has, not that another leagues don't have. Is the great ratio between athleticism, skill, and size. That's a great ratio right there. Like find the in between the golden line between saying like that's the perfect player between being big as hell, right? Being fast as hell, and then be
Yeah.
skillful as hell. Like that's the fine line. So that is
Mhm.
what separates still the NBA from Europe. Like you would have guys who are very big, but they're not that skilled, or they're very skilled, but they're not that big, or they're very skilled and big, but they're not that fast, that like athletic. So that is still the big difference for
That
sure.
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think there's obviously things that set both leagues apart, and some have its advantages, some has disadvantages. But one thing I just love seeing, man, I love seeing the videos of all the fans overseas,
Oh yeah,
bro.
yeah,
That
yeah.
looks incredible, man. Talk to the passion we were speaking to earlier. It's crazy.
I didn't even say the fans. I should have because the fans are first of all, they don't say teams, we say clubs
Clubs, yes.
and the reason we say clubs is because like uh, all these teams started as a club, like it's members club, and they go in to support their
Mhm.
their their local team or their local club,
Mm.
and it is generations. Like if you notice, I'll give you like two or three teams. Like there's a team, it's called Panathinaikos. They were
Yes.
they were founded 1908.
Damn.
It's 100 years. You
Mm.
have teams that's 100 years plus. In Greece now, this is
Mhm.
a small country, and they have like tradition of basketball and basketball. Teams like Aris, Saloniki, teams like they are founded so many years before, and they have this tradition of like of basketball and sports. So they just don't. It's not that they just love sports. They live, die, and breathe sports. Like that is the number one
Mm.
thing that like has helped like their mental as well.
Yeah, man, that is such a difference over here, man. So commercialized over here. Where there, it's real passion, like you said.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
man.
is. It needs to be more commercializing in them for in Europe as well to be self-sustainable. But there is what you said exactly. Like, man,
Different motivations. Yeah.
yes. Well,
All right, y'all. Well, it's time for one more break. Next up, we're gonna go off the court. Thank you guys so much for listening to Game Recognized Game. And come on, man, y'all been listening this whole time, yo. Please just go ahead and rate, review, subscribe. Let's get to it. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Game Recognized Game with Stewie and Myles. And TA, real quick, man, what do you consider your greatest accomplishment so far in life? Just life in general.
my greatest accomplishment. If you'd have asked me a year ago or 2 3 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, or like these years ago, like, hey, yeah, just the NBA and bro, like, I've made like and money or this or I would have said something like that. But like now, my greatest accomplishment is that I've sat down and understood that in order, right, to get and to do what I want to do in life, I have to sacrifice things, right? And and this to say that is that I have my greatest accomplishment is that I've sacrificed things and done it with grace, no resentment, no shit, no like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, I should be doing like I've done it like, and I'm happy about it. And I never thought in my life that that I would be in this level now, and I've done these things and be okay with it. Because if you'd have asked me when I was younger, I'm like, hell no, no, I'm doing my thing. Like, you say you'd have asked me, I would be I'm very frustrated with it. I'll be like, no, but like, it's enough to for me to be a great family man. It's enough to be a great brother. It's enough, you know what I'm saying, to be a great son. Like, it's enough. It's not this thing like uh and what did I do and what I need to do. Like, it's enough for me, for my family to be succeeding. And like, it's
Mhm.
so fulfilling to me. So I think that's my greatest accomplishment, to be honest with you. Like, be
Beautiful,
able to
man.
know that, yeah.
Love that answer, man. Because it's not, sometimes it doesn't have to do with the material, like you said. So that's great stuff. Yeah. All right, man. To wrap it up, man, you've been doing this podcast thing for quite a few years now, you know? Outside of making sure my lighting is good at all times, what advice can you give us just on a new pod, man? We're trying to grow. We're in a new space. I mean, obviously, Stewie has is a very accomplished person
Yeah.
in her realm, and again, we're just trying to make this just get this to be somewhere, a safe space for people to come and just share their thoughts and just tap in.
Oh man. So one thing is, you guys be you. Don't change. Like, you don't need to do hot takes to go viral. You don't need to do none of those stuff to do like, like one hit wonders and people to come to your show. Because if you be you, whoever comes to your show stays forever. Because
Mhm.
that's what they want. That's what they're looking for. A safe space and truth, right? And at the same time entertainment a little bit, but like, this is what they look for. The other thing would be product, like what you guys have here. It's amazing product. You guys do it uh through a Riverside, or like, through the Zoom or etc. And you should try to do more in person as well, as much as you
In
can.
person,
That's
yeah.
nice. That's good for the audience, because the audience sees you like with the and listens to you like with the guest next to you. So like, oh, they met, they had an interaction, etc.
Hmm.
Um, and the other thing is, do not put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Hmm.
You can oh, slow roll it, or fast roll it as much as you want. You don't
Hmm.
have to be coming out with crazy episodes. As long as you're coming out with who you are, and you don't give, you always give an explanation of what's happening. If you have uh let's say a 10-day stretch or 20-day stretch that you don't feel like doing an episode, you don't have to just quit it. You could just say, "Hey
Hmm.
guys, everybody who's been listening, thank you guys so much. This is what we're going through." Because people love honesty, people love
Of
transparency,
course.
people love that, because they're like, "Wow, okay, I'm gonna wait for him to come. I'm gonna wait for him to come back." So, and
Mhm.
consistency, obviously.
That's real.
That's it.
Duh. Yeah, you got a live show coming up, man. Talk about it a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. So I'm gonna give you some of the stuff that we're gonna do if people don't know yet. So have a live show, 26th of March. Be there. If you guys want to get tickets, it's at taliveshow.com. Tickets is like $43. My jersey number. I always do like, just for people to get there, something symbolic. I always give people a good show. My guest this year is Ric Flair, Nature Boy.
Woo.
Woo! Yeah. So we're doing a lot of like wrestling stuff. I'm actually talking with the company, so we're gonna make the whole stages as a ring. So we're discussing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
badass.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's gonna be kind of cool. And I always have presents. It's gonna be presents in the end. Prizes people can win that they don't expect, and it's just like it's just celebration. Instead of doing a meet and greet and doing all these things, I'd rather like do a live show and get people in the building and listen to us conversation, and see, people that never expected to see kind of talk. I don't think people expected me to see me and Ric Flair, or me and
Right.
and the years past I've had Stephen A on the show, Stephen A. Smith on the show. The year before that I had Older Brothers kind of live show with Kyle Kuzma. I had met Brooke Lopez, Robbie Lopez. I had like everybody kind of crash the podcast. Because I always have a surprise guest, but it's always fun because this is something I love to do, and I do it. I only do it once a year for now. Till
Okay.
then, once a year. Once a year. This ain't no tour thing. This ain't no going from once a year. And it happened to be, in the place in Milwaukee. And actually, I'm doing this year. I'm actually doing it at the Pops Theater, so it's kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a story.
Riverside
That's
Theater,
fire.
Riverside Theater. Yeah. So yeah,
Cool, man. All right. Well, I can't thank you enough, bro. Thank you so much just for taking some time, out of
anytime,
your
bro.
busy schedule to come show some love on the pod, man. And again, man, I think your journey's been incredible.
Thank you, brother.
You're still doing it, bro. You're just a great representation of just your family, what a man should be. And again, man, I just thank you for your time.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Y'all, thanks for checking us out. You can be a part of the show. Send your questions to our social media. Leave comments on the YouTube videos. And please subscribe to Game Recognized Game and the Thanasis Show, man. We'll see y'all next time.